You are listening to the Photographic Podcast. Your hosts are Jay, Justin, Mike, and Valentine. Welcome back.
Hey, what's up?
So, just Mike and I today. Everybody else had other plans. So, just the guys, today.
Just BSing.
Yeah, just the two white people on the podcast. Great times.
Why they gotta be white people?
always us. So, yeah.
So what are you working on right now? You got anything you're trying to any projects coming up?
Not necessarily. We got a photo shoot with Sophia tomorrow.
Right.
Doing like a 90s thing. But as far as personal projects, I don't really have anything that I'm particularly focusing on. Mainly just trying to figure out a lens that I want to get, which I think I'm going to try this one. It's a RF 15 to 35. 2.8.
Like it?
It's nice. I like it. It's much lighter than the previous lens that I rented, the Sigma 16 to 24 or 14 to 24. I think it's 14 to 24. That thing is massive. Albeit this one, the front element is larger. It's still a smaller lens, and it's like half the weight of the other one. So it's much more comfortable in hand.
It's not a bad focal range though.
Yeah.
I mean, that one that I've got here on this one is a 16 to 28.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's obviously different, but I like the wide to sort of wide.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty decent range.
Yeah.
As long as it's not that kit 15 to, what did they give you with the old like the old kit lens Canon, like 15 to 8? I don't even remember anymore.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Or 18 to 55 or
it's an 18 to 55.
Yeah, that thing was garbage.
I have another one that is a Sigma 17 to 50 for an EFS, which it's great, but it's noisy as hell. Like I can put it on the camera, and if this microphone's too close to the monitor, you will hear this one trying to autofocus the whole time.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
A loud ass motor.
It's got a really loud ass motor. And I tripped and fell on it, so like that might also be why there's things loose in it, and it rattles.
A little rattly. Does it work? Mm-hmm. I mean, does it make good pictures?
Yeah, it does. It's decent pictures. It's for an EFS sensor, so it's really closer to like it's basically a 24 to 70. For accounting for the crop factor on it. So I didn't think about that. I just saved myself a couple $1,000. Yeah. So it's fun.
Yeah. I've been trying to figure out, like, I want to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea what to do. You know what I mean? Like, obviously there's, little meetups. We might get together, do portrait sessions, or meet up and walk the streets and take a few photos here. But I want to have a project, and I don't have a project. And I'm feeling kind of lost, honestly, without having one. But then I try to think of, well, what can I do? And I think the bane of my existence is the trying to figure out what I want.
Mm-hmm.
It's so frustrating sometimes.
Sure.
So
yeah,
I
can feel that.
I'll come across something, I'm like, oh, that might be a good thing to do. And then you do a couple of them, you're like, not really feeling it anymore.
Yeah. I know that. I think COVID, at least for me, like in the beginning, it was really interesting when there was nobody else out on the street. I wanted to go out and like document that, and like it was new and fresh, and like it was interesting, like kind of a historical moment when like everybody left the streets and everybody was hanging out at home. I wanted to go out and document that, and like then when people came out, it was like, oh, I gotta avoid all these crowds so I don't get sick.
Right.
and now it's just kind of like turned into like me being a hermit and collecting
Right.
gear.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I want to go camping. I want to go
mhm,
camping so bad. I'd like to do it soon. Like right now is a good time to do it, and it's a good opportunity to do sunrise, sunset, landscape type photography. Just
mhm,
nature in general is fine, even if you don't have like some big crazy landscape to take a photograph of. I just like nature and just being out in it, and it's kind of the way it makes you feel, and why you photograph things anyway, is because you like the way they make you feel. But
yeah,
I want to go out and do that because I just like being out there doing it too, aside from taking photographs of it. And so I'm like torn in between this thing of I want to go do that,
mhm,
and I want to have like a consistent thing for a photography project.
sure,
And those things don't always coincide. The time's not always there. The availability to go do it isn't
mhm,
always there. But man, the weather has been so nice the last few days, like even with a little bit of the cloud coverage that came through and being
mhm.
out today, and the sun was
Oh,
out and it was still only in the upper 60s, lower 70s. And I'm like, man, I could totally be out doing something right now.
mhm. Yeah, April 1st, 2021, uh, an absolute gorgeous day in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Just just for future us and future listeners, uh, today was absolutely beautiful, so we're inside talking about stuff. Talking
Right.
about how beautiful it is outside. It's
Yeah,
great.
we're in here talking about out there. Right.
Yeah. Uh yeah, no, I feel the same. Like I wish that my schedule gave me more opportunity to do things, but like even if it did, I don't know what to do at this time. Like
Right.
there's so many things that I would like to try, but I don't know. There's like a mental block keeping me from doing it. So I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on there.
I think with this whole wanting to be outside and staying out overnight and taking nature photos, I
Hmm.
was it's in my head already. And then I was scrolling through some Facebook groups earlier, and somebody had made a post of what film stock to use for cherry blossom photography. And
Oh,
so there was like a whole bunch of people giving their opinions on what film stock to use on that. And
I like
I
that.
That is an interesting question, but I couldn't tell you what they landed on because my brain went, "Where can I go take photographs of cherry blossoms?"
Right.
But now I'm looking. I was just looking up, and apparently, like the Dallas Arboretum is a place to go for something like that. So I know that there are some groups that do like photography meetups, and they go through like the Arboretum and stuff like that. But I
Hmm.
haven't looked to see if there's like a charge or anything for like, because at the zoo they don't charge you any extra to go in and shoot if it's for your own stuff. It's not business related. And I'm like, yeah, no,
Right.
it's totally just for my own stuff. Like I'm not
Yeah, no.
doing anything crazy with it.
Hmm.
Besides, like, who knows what's going to turn out? Like, I want to do it on film. So,
Yeah. So you really don't know. Don't know.
uh, is it commercial? Am I going to sell it or am I going to keep it? It may
Right.
end up in the trash. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I want to go. I want to go. I want to go shoot it. So that's the other thing too. Like, since we've done, well, we've spent the last several months doing film photography related stuff and real focused
Hmm.
on that and learning and doing all these things. And the one of the
Now's the time
main
to go out
things
and
that
practice.
that's what I'm saying. Like one of the main things I love taking photographs of is something in nature, and that's
Hmm.
one of the things that I haven't taken a single photograph of on film.
Yep.
So it's killing me. I want to go.
I feel that completely. I've been seeing way too many photos of like people going, all my friends going out camping. I'm like, I want to go. I just want to go out and be with the trees and get away from everything. Like,
Yep.
I don't know if anybody else has noticed or not, but I haven't posted anything on my Instagram in about a month, almost 2 months now. Because I'm out of things. I have some stuff that I could post, but
Right.
it's not anything that I'm particularly proud of. It's mainly just me playing around with like a new camera body or a new lens or something. There's nothing interesting. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just playing around with the stuff that I got. But uh, I want to go out and create something. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. And I think, at least for me, it's just the daily thing of like, just go do something.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's one of those things where when you're in the mode, like
mhm,
when you're inspired and there's something that you want to accomplish, it's the easiest thing in the world is just to go shoot because
mhm,
you're like your mind's in it. You're already
yeah,
ready to rock. Like it's Thursday night, it's 9 o'clock. Let's just do some astrophotography down by the river an hour away. I'll drive it. I don't care. I'm in the mode. Like I'm
yeah,
in the
yeah.
zone. Let's do it. But when you kind of fall out of it, it's
Hard to
hard
get
to
back in.
yeah, it's hard to pick it back up sometimes. It's
Mhm.
not that I ever stopped shooting. It's just I'm not always in the mode to go do it. Sometimes I have to be coerced.
Yeah.
So, which kind of sucks because I definitely love shooting and
Mhm.
and like I said, I haven't stopped shooting and I'm not
Right.
any different than you. Like my main page on Instagram, I really haven't posted much. I only post anything on there right now just so people know I didn't just quit.
I should probably do that so that people like know that I do still have photography equipment. I do still enjoy it. Uh, Besides just talking about it all the time, I do still like use it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I have the film page that I post on somewhat regularly. But that's where I've spent most of my time, and I've got
mhm,
like more. I have more people that follow my my digital page than on the film page. But I mean, it slowly grows. I'm not complaining or
mm,
comparing one with the other. It's two completely different things that I spent a different amount of time on, and I
right.
kind of let the one go by the wayside because I was just like, I'm kind of focused right over here right now, so
Mhm,
I'm not mad about this. I'm gonna let it just do what it do, and then I'm gonna come over here and do this for a while. So
right. I think that's also the fun part of being creative, like the ups and downs and like trying to figure out what you want to do and where you want to take your creativity. I think is also part of the fun
right,
is learning those things because not only am I learning a new craft or a new type of what I already do, I'm also learning about myself
yeah,
that like what it takes to motivate me to do something besides just like the fascination with learning because I think the first couple of years for me was like I'm just learning everything. So like getting out and going places and learning something at the same time has just been fascinating. Now that I've learned some of the things that I have, I just need to go out and use it. And
right,
I don't know, for some reason, getting out's the hard part. But I think I'd like to personally just blame that on COVID and my reluctance to get sick. But
right.
uh, pretty soon I'm not going to have as much of an excuse because I'll be vaccinated. Um, So just gotta like buckle up and get it done.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm just as addicted to learning as I am to actually going and doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's easy to get caught up on just education,
Is
which
there is there a
might sound weird.
gear acquisition syndrome for learning? Learning acquisition syndrome, LAS. I
Yeah,
don't
because I
know.
don't always do anything with all the information that I gain. I just run across
Mhm.
something and I'm like, ooh, interesting. Let me read this for the next 3 days.
Right. Yeah. I totally feel that. Um, that happened to me with video games. I bought this PC and I was like, I don't even play video games. I don't need like I'm not gonna I don't play PC games. And then uh I sold my TV and my PlayStation. I was like, well, I really miss playing Fallout. I'm gonna try Outer Worlds. And
Right.
now I'm a PC gamer and I love playing games on my PC.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess I could blame that too. I've just been stuck at home. So and now a word from our first official sponsor, Rough and Tough.
Are you tired of your pet dog chewing up your couch or sofa? Do you wish you had something that was indestructible? Something worth buying? Something your dog wouldn't rip to shreds? Shut up, Sparky. Well, try Rough and Tough, the toy that vibrates every time your dog goes to chew on it. No, it's not a vibrator, it's for your dog, so don't get any crazy ideas, ladies. Rough and Tough, the dog toy that will make your dog say, "What the is this?"
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I do that as well with video games. Like, I I'd gone for years and years. I played video games hardcore, PC games for several years. And
Mhm.
then I kind of stepped away from it because it was like just sucking my life away from me. So I was like, oh, I gotta step back. And then I decided, well, I'm gonna switch to playing console because that way it's in the living room. I don't have to disconnect and disengage from everything else 100%. I can kind of be there, play for an hour, walk away from it, whatever.
Right.
And so, and then we got all these people who stream games and talk about games. You got Twitch and you got YouTube and you got Facebook gaming does streaming. And then
Mhm.
some of these guys are playing, streaming the same games that I'm playing. And then I'm like, oh, how are they doing that? Like, what are
Right.
they doing? What tactics are they using? What guns are they using in Call of Duty? Like, and then I get
Yeah.
caught up watching like update videos whenever the game developer decides to drop a patch,
Mhm.
patch notes, updates, how it affects the meta of the game, and I'm just like, I get caught up in that just as much, if not more, than I get caught up playing the game itself.
Mhm. Uh,
Like,
Same for
why do
PC
I
building.
care?
Mhm. Yeah. I've learned how I have, thanks to YouTube and Google and Newegg, I have learned how to build a PC. I don't need to. I already have a plenty powerful enough PC, but like I found myself thinking about playing Cyberpunk 2077 the other day. I was like, will my graphics card even handle that? And then I looked it up and I was like, it kind of will, but if I just buy this new one and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need new motherboard and then I'm going to need new RAM
Oh yeah,
and then I'm going to need new box and like it just goes on and on. It's like I just wanted to play a video game and because I can't play it in full 4K 60 frames per second, I need to buy a new PC.
right. Yep.
It's
Definitely need to. And why stop at 4K 60? We do 4K 120. So
yeah, I'm gonna need a new monitor for that one. So uh, yeah, so I mean, like being an adult with hobbies, creative or otherwise, is really expensive.
oh yeah,
I just wanted to, I just wanted to stop. Like I just,
exactly.
I, I just want to enjoy things. But I think like getting back to photography, like I think paring down and not thinking about gear so often as I talk about buying a new lens or buying all these things. I think paring down and just going back to where we started, a lens and a camera and our 2 feet, I
Yeah.
think is what would help us.
I mean, it's crazy, but I was actually thinking that earlier today because I went to go have a conversation with some guys about some potential gainful employment, and
Mhm.
I'd actually walked out of my house. I had my coffee and my water, and got in the truck, and I was getting ready to leave. And I'm like, oh man, I can't just leave like this. So I came back in the house and I grabbed a camera just to put in the truck with me. I didn't use it, but I was just like,
Just in
I need
case.
to make sure that I'm doing it just in case, yeah, because I might
Mhm.
see something that I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
grab a shot of that
On the
real
way home.
quick. Yeah, you never know.
I, I find myself fantasizing while I'm driving about videos that I want to make and B-roll that I want to get while I'm driving with my camera in my back seat, thinking about all these cool things I could do on the way home. And
Right?
then I get home and I put my backpack up on my counter and I'm like, oh man, I should have done that.
Yeah.
And then I didn't. Like
Right.
it's just uh
Oh, that's
they
crazy.
say the
Well,
best camera
go ahead.
they say the best camera is the one on you, but if you don't use it, that camera doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's the same as not having it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. This morning, I got up and I was waiting on my water to get hot while I was making some coffee, and I looked out the back door. It was like right after 9 o'clock,
Mhm.
and I noticed there was a shadow cast on the fence from one of the small trees in the corner of my yard, and I was like, oh,
Mhm.
that's kind of cool because this is the morning sun still
Mhm.
out right before it gets a little too harsh, and it was hit just right. And I was like, I'm definitely going to take a photo of that. So I took my camera out and I took a single photo of that, and that's it. That's the only time I hit a shutter button today.
Mhm. Sometimes it be like that though.
Yeah.
Uh, the only time I took a photo today was taking a selfie with this lens.
Well, there you go.
But I mean, it looks nice, so it does what I want it to. So
Right.
but yeah, sometimes we just got to start with a photo a day and see where it leads us.
I think that would be a good challenge, like a
Hmm.
photo a day.
Yeah, for those of us who are dealing with uh, a creative block, just take a photo a day, and I don't know, make a new profile and just label it bullshit photos, whatever.
Right.
But just a photo a day of something that brings you joy.
Yeah. I think it's a good
Like start
idea.
with, I mean, it could be that could be a multitude of like exercises, like, oh, take a picture of something that you enjoy every day and that you're grateful for. It could be a gratefulness challenge, but like could just be something that you enjoy. Take a picture of your coffee every day.
Right.
Like I I I know that we've made fun of like trendy photographers and trendy stuff, but like seriously, if you enjoy it, take a photo of it every day and take a photo of it every day.
Yeah.
I don't there's no other caveats to that. Like do it however you want to, but take a photo of something that you enjoy every day
Yeah.
and see where that leads you.
Yeah. I think that's a good thing. It'll help with the
Mhm.
creative process because it'll, if you have at least that directive,
Mhm.
then it may inspire more.
Yeah. And something that I don't remember who brought it up. I think it was Sean Tucker or uh, um, there's somebody else, Jamie Windsor or some other famous YouTube photographer was talking about it. A lot of great works don't happen in the span of a year. Like the great photography books, like Where I Find Myself by Joel Meyerowitz. It wasn't the span of a year. It was over a lifetime.
Right.
So like, don't rush your process. We tend to think of like, oh, it was William Verbeek, and it was like we make lots of small projects and we give ourselves a time limit, and that kind of forces us into that. I take that back. I think it was Matt Day. Sorry, I keep name dropping. It doesn't matter. But anyways, the projects that we make don't always have to be within a certain time limit. We put that on ourselves because society and current social media trends force us to get out content on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, like pushing content out as often as possible. And it's not that commercializes your own talent, and sure there's uses for commercial talent, but there's also a time to slow down and put more thought into your work, cuz at the end of the day, as long as you're happy with it, that's all that really matters. But I think that like long-term contemplation on the things that we do ultimately could lead to something greater for ourselves, creatively speaking.
Yeah. I don't mind the concept of putting some deadlines on stuff, especially if you've decided to make it a project. It kind of helps
Sure.
focus your energy a little bit
Mhm.
with your efforts into what you're doing. But I've seen it to where people do that, but then they stress themselves out by
Mhm.
not meeting whatever. I'm like, you created the deadline. Just sit
Yeah.
down and have a meeting with yourself and say, self, it's a little hectic right now. What is a reasonable alteration to this timeline? And set a
Sure.
new one. Don't kill yourself over it.
Yeah. Don't kill yourself over your projects, because like, especially if no one else knows about that project and it's just between you and a couple friends, like
Right.
there's no reason to fret over it.
Yeah.
Your followers aren't going to know. Uh, the people sponsoring you aren't going to know unless they're part of the project. But like, other than that, like, however long it takes you to do your project and do it well, do that. But like, maybe set a reasonable goal
Yeah.
instead of, I get 3 weeks to shoot this project from the East Coast to the West Coast and all the cities in between. Like maybe give yourself a little bit more time to do that. Like
Right.
turn it into 6 months or a year long project, and like take your time, because you might miss something in the process.
Man, wouldn't that be a cool project to do though? I was just thinking
Hmm.
about the like combining those that like the you have so many weeks to go from the East Coast to the West Coast or vice versa.
Hmm.
But then like take a film camera with you and then only take one photo per day of on film.
Oh,
Like you could document it digitally however you felt like along the way,
yeah.
but try to push yourself to get like one photo that describes your day every day on the trip.
I think if I was gonna do something like that, only one photo, you could. I might do that in large format,
Yeah.
like do an 8x10. Because I mean, granted, it's still gonna be expensive, but like if you're only doing one photo a day,
Hmm.
you could do something really crazy with that one photo a day kind of thing. I
Yeah.
think that would be pretty cool.
I was just thinking like you're traveling across the country and yeah, like if you're really trying to document like every moment all the way through it, then sure, like yeah, you might want to allow yourself more time for that.
Sure.
But if it was something like that where you're like, well, I don't really have the time because life before and after,
Hmm.
then what creative way can you do it? And then you were talking about that one photo a day. I'm like, man, that would be cool too.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That would
I
be
think
awesome.
honestly, just taking that kind of road trip in general, like even if you don't
Right.
take a camera, would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I'm super down with that too. Like I like being out. I like taking trips. I like doing stuff.
mhm.
So I really want to get back out on the road and go see some things. I got my buddy in Arizona is always like always have a place to go if I want to go
Mhm.
out there, so I don't have to pay for like hotel and stuff. I just got to get to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Um, things like over there, I've got family in Washington, so like there's places that I can go and I want to do. It's just
Mm.
timing is everything with a lot of stuff. So
And money.
whoa, yeah, that
Yeah,
sometimes
that's
timing and money go hand in hand, but yes, it's both of those
very true.
things and sometimes together.
Hmm. Uh, yeah, especially like ah, now that I make more money, and now that like I don't think there's ever an actual end to gear acquisition syndrome, but like now that there's less and less things that catch my eye that I want that like I need,
Right.
uh, I'm starting to think about ways that I can like get out and use it because yeah, I just need to get out. I need to
Right.
get out of this room. I need to go out somewhere.
Yeah.
I want to see the sunshine. I want to see the trees. Um, I just want to get away from.
The normal everyday
Yeah.
humdrum life. Like
Hmm.
it's not always boring, but it's always the same.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting every day, especially working in like retail. But at the same time, I'm still clocking in and out like a robot. And
Right.
all I'm doing is like go to work, come home, play 1 hour of video games, eat a bag of popcorn, and go to bed. Like,
Right. Yeah.
it wears
Break
at
up
you. You
break the
see these
monotony.
bags? See these bags? They're getting to be designer because I'm earning them.
Right.
They got a lot of
Yep.
money invested in them.
You see a
Shit.
little gold LV showing up there on the left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It needs
I'm
to be
I'm the
a.
same way. Like I love my home and being
Mhm.
here and living where I live. Had the
Yeah.
opportunity to be in other places. I've been pretty comfortable here. But I like seeing stuff. I like experiencing different and new things and I'm not always the type of person that subscribes to always going out to another country, another state, another city. I'd love those things,
Right.
but there's often things in your own backyard. And honestly, one of the things that I appreciate photography for
Hmm.
is that having met some of you guys and some other people in these groups and stuff that we've been in over the last couple of years
Hmm.
is given me the opportunity to go out and see parts of the Dallas Fort Worth area that normally I wouldn't have gone to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like I like exploring my own backyard. I've been on every back road that's within 30 minutes of me.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I've taken some photos out there. I've been into the cities with you guys and taking photos there. And that's one of the things that me and my wife love going to the zoo. So we do that, or we have done that several times
Yeah.
and
Have y'all been
experience the
to?
stuff around me.
The aquarium.
Not in a long time, but yeah.
I think that's. I'd like to go visit that soon.
Yeah, we haven't been to the Arboretum, which was whenever I looked that up, I was like, "Ooh, we need to go to the Arboretum." And my wife was like, "Yeah, let's do that." And we haven't done that.
Right.
Like we've been in Texas since 2008, and we've never been to the Arboretum.
Yeah, no, you definitely need to go. There's one in Dallas and in Fort Worth. I like the Fort Worth one.
Mm.
There's yeah, there's lots of cool stuff out there. It's really nice.
Yeah, but I don't always subscribe to always going off somewhere else because I know, and especially like I was saying, of experience, there's a lot of things in our own backyards to discover. But sometimes, even still, it's nice to go to a different climate,
Mhm,
experience just the different ways that people live in other places is interesting to me, and that's one of my
Agreed.
favorite things about leaving the south central United States area that we live in, Texas, Oklahoma, even
Mhm.
hell, going to Louisiana is a little bit different than here, depending on which part that you're going
Oh, let's go
into.
to New
But
Orleans.
New Orleans is a lot of fun, and then it's different than here, a lot
Mhm.
different than here.
Yeah, I've never been. I'd like to go.
Yeah, I wonder
Yeah.
how. I need to start looking into what the travel and everything like that looks like. I hadn't been shooting for like with an actual real camera.
Mhm.
I hadn't been shooting, but for a few months, whenever I went to New Orleans back in 2019, and I took some photos while I was down there, and some of them turned out pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
But I'd like to go back now after it's been a couple of years, because obviously, like some of the like learning how to shoot manual and understanding exposure, the triangle, and doing all those like the normal what you spend the first couple of years of photography on.
Right. Yeah.
You
The
know,
basics.
once you're past all the technical stuff and you can focus a little bit more on just the composition and what's in the scene, because it's
Mhm.
so in the beginning it's just there's just all the information, and so you're trying to figure out how to make sense of it all and try to compartmentalize the stuff that doesn't immediately affect you.
Yeah.
But now I'd
Yeah.
like to go back, now that I'm at like a different place with photography. I'd like to go back to New Orleans and do some more night shots, because I got one shot of Pirates Alley that was really cool, and I had a crop sensor camera, so the picture is still a little bit hazy and noisy, and
Yeah.
I'd like to see like the difference that it makes with the full frame sensor shooting down
Mhm.
there. And yeah, so you see, you fucked up and said New Orleans, and now I'm like, oh, New Orleans.
Hey, I got a vacation coming up. Let's go.
My wife would kill me if I went there and didn't take her. That's one of her favorite places to be.
She can come.
Not with our dogs.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's right.
I have to pay somebody to stay at my house while I go vacation.
I think I might have somebody for that.
No, really. Well, we can talk offline about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of talking offline, I think it is about that time. Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's been fun, y'all. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.